ADX Florence, the prison that buries men alive. Before we dive into today's story, don't forget to subscribe to History That Connects the World. Every week, we uncover stories that expose the hidden corners of our world's past. The moments and places that changed everything. Let's enter a place built to contain what the world fears most. A fortress so secure that even nightmares cannot escape. This is ADX Florence, the prison that buries men alive. The birth of an American fortress. In the quiet mountains of Colorado lies a town called Florence. Surrounded by natural beauty, it hides a monster. A prison designed for one purpose only, to break the most dangerous men alive. In the early 1990s, the U.S. government faced a growing problem. Violence inside federal prisons had exploded. Inmates were killing guards, attacking other prisoners, and running criminal empires from behind bars. So the Federal Bureau of Prisons decided to build something different, not just another maximum security prison, but a place where no one could hurt, escape, or even communicate. A prison so secure, it would end the idea of prison violence forever. Construction began in 1991. By 1994, the gates of the United States Penitentiary, Administrative Maximum Facility, known simply as ADX Florence, slammed shut for the first time. A concrete tomb was born. Part 2, a world without sound or touch. From the outside, ADX looks clean, orderly, almost peaceful. But inside those walls, peace does not exist. Every cell is built to keep men in complete isolation. Each prisoner lives alone in a cell no bigger than a bathroom. Concrete bed, concrete desk, concrete stool. The door is solid steel, with a tiny window the width of a pencil. There's no escape and barely any human contact. Meals are delivered through a slot. Guards speak through intercoms. Even exercise takes place in another cage, a small, concrete pen with just a glimpse of sky. Most inmates spend 23 hours a day alone. The remaining hour, a shuffle from one cell to another, just to breathe air through the cracks of the roof. This is not just punishment. It's a science of control, a place designed to erase rebellion, hope, and human connection. Part 3, the minds behind the walls. Who deserves such a place? ADX Florence is home to the world's most dangerous and infamous prisoners. Here are men whose names once made headlines: terrorists, killers, drug lords, and spies. The Unabomber, Ted Kaczynski, lived here for decades before his death. The 9/11 conspirator Zacarias Moussaoui, Oklahoma City bomber Terry Nichols, the Boston Marathon bomber Dzhokhar Tsarnaev, and Mexican drug lord Joaquin El Chapo Guzman, the man who once tunneled out of a Mexican prison, but could never dream of tunneling out of ADX. Inmates here are not simply locked up, they are disappeared into silence. Communication with the outside world is almost non-existent. Letters are screened. Visits are rare and monitored. For most, ADX is the end of the line, a place where punishment has no more stages. They call it the Alcatraz of the Rockies. But Alcatraz had sunlight, noise, and the sound of waves. ADX has none of that, only echoes of footsteps on concrete. Part 4, the psychology of isolation. Humans are not meant to live in silence. In the outside world, even solitude carries sound. The wind, birds, voices, laughter. Inside ADX Florence, there's only the hum of ventilation, the clank of doors, and the heartbeat in your own ears. Psychologists have warned that prolonged isolation can destroy the mind. At ADX, some inmates have gone insane. One prisoner chewed through his veins with his own teeth. Another threw himself repeatedly against the wall until he no longer moved. These are not myths, these are documented reports. Even former wardens have admitted that ADX is not built for humanity. It's built for control, yet every detail, every light, every camera, every inch of concrete serves its purpose. To make escape impossible, to make rebellion unthinkable, to make time itself a punishment. Part 5, the rules of existence. Inside ADX, the day never changes. Wake up at 5 a.m., eat through the slot. Sit, wait, think, sleep. Repeat. Inmates rarely see another face. They might shout through the air vents, whispering to a neighbor they can't see. Those small voices are lifelines, fragile threads of human connection. Privileges are earned through years of good behavior. A prisoner may eventually move to a slightly less strict unit, called the step-down program. There they might see another person, talk face-to-face, or touch grass for the first time in years. But for many, that step never comes. Because at ADX, time does not pass. It just repeats. Part 6. Critics and the Question of Humanity. Over the years, human rights groups have called ADX Florence a modern-day dungeon. They argue that the conditions, endless isolation, lack of sunlight, absence of human touch, violate the Eighth Amendment, which forbids cruel and unusual punishment. Former inmates have filed lawsuits, claiming their minds and bodies were destroyed. Even some guards have spoken out, saying that the prison does not just hold evil, it creates it. The government defends it, saying ADX is necessary, that it keeps America safe, that those inside are too dangerous, too violent, too powerful to be held anywhere else. Both sides are right in their own way. Because ADX is not just a prison, it's a reflection of how far a society will go to control fear. Part 7. A Glimpse of Life and Death. When Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber, arrived at ADX in 1998, he called it a clean version of hell. He lived there for 25 years. He read books, wrote letters, and watched the years disappear into silence. Other prisoners dream of sound, the echo of footsteps, the call of a bird, the sound of rain. At ADX, even nature is a memory. Some have managed to survive decades inside without losing their sanity. Others, not so lucky. In the late 2000s, a string of suicides shook the prison. One man pressed his throat against the metal slot and refused to breathe. Another used a razor hidden in his Bible. The truth is, no matter how strong a person is, isolation eats the mind. Inside ADX, time itself becomes the enemy. Part 8. Can you escape ADX Florence? Theoretically, no. No one has ever escaped. The prison was designed to make that impossible. Motion detectors, 1-400 steel doors, sniper towers, laser tripwires and pressure pads, all hidden behind layers of concrete and mountain rock. El Chapo himself, who escaped 2 Mexican prisons, was moved here after his capture. He once dug a mile-long tunnel beneath a toilet to freedom. But at ADX Florence, even the toilets are monitored. There is only one way out, in a coffin, decades after the world has forgotten your name. Part 9. The Debate That Never Ends. So, is ADX Florence necessary? Or is it proof that humanity has built something darker than the crimes it punishes? Every society must decide how to deal with its monsters. But when punishment becomes eternal isolation, we must ask, do we lock away evil or do we create it? Some say ADX keeps the world safe. Others say it buries men alive. Maybe both are true. Maybe that's what makes it so terrifying. And that's the story of ADX Florence, the prison that buries men alive. A place built not just with concrete and steel, but with fear, silence, and control. A mirror of what humanity can build when safety and suffering become the same thing. If you found this story powerful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to History That Connects the World, where every story reminds us history isn't just about the past, it's about who we become. Thank you for watching. Until next time, stay curious.